The sky was burning. Captain Raynor stood outside the base, eyes locked on the trail of fire tearing across the clouds. It was not a shooting star. It was too low, too fast, and too alive. The alarm siren screamed across the military compound. Soldiers rushed out with weapons ready. Dust and heat filled the air as the object crashed into the ground just a few kilometers from the fence. The earth shook. Birds flew away in panic. "Is it another drone strike?" one soldier asked. "No," Raynor said. "That came from space." Without waiting for orders, Raynor jumped into a military jeep and drove toward the crash site. He had seen enough battles in his life to know something was wrong. This wasn't normal. It felt personal. The kind of danger you could taste in the air. When he reached the crash, he saw a small silver pod lying broken in a smoking crater. The surface was cracked open like an egg. Strange blue light flickered from inside. Raynor stepped forward slowly. His hand was near his pistol, but he didn't pull it yet. Then he heard it. A cry. Small. Weak. But not human. He walked closer, heart pounding. And there she was. A girl. Not more than 10 years old. But not from Earth. She had silver skin, glowing green eyes, and long white hair that floated slightly, like it didn't follow gravity. Her arm was bleeding. Her clothes were torn. But what struck Raynor the most was her face. She looked scared. Completely alone. She opened her mouth and spoke, voice shaking. "Please, human. Help. My mom is trapped. In the Sky Hunter's nest." The soldiers behind Raynor aimed their rifles. They shouted at him to move back. But Raynor raised his hand. "Lower your weapons. She's just a child. She's an alien," the lieutenant snapped. Raynor turned. His voice was calm but firm. "And she's asking for help." The girl collapsed into his arms. She was shaking badly. Her skin was ice cold. Back at the base, the doctors treated her wounds. The scientists ran scans. They found that she was from a race called the Orin. A peaceful alien species known for energy-based technology and mental bonding. Raynor had heard about them during one of his missions near Jupiter. They were never hostile. Never violent. But the girl, whose name was Leary, had more to say. She spoke about a creature. A flying monster that hunted her people. One that had taken her mother while they escaped. A creature known in her tongue as the Sky Hunter. "It has a nest," she said. "High above your world. It hides in your clouds. My mom is still there. Alive. Please. I need you." Raynor looked at her. He saw something in her eyes. Something he hadn't seen in a long time. Hope. But the general did not feel the same. "This is not our fight," he said. "We don't know her. We don't even know if this story is true. She could be a trap. The Sky Hunter might be part of an invasion." Raynor stepped forward. "And what if she's not? What if we do nothing and let her mother die?" "Then she dies with her," the general replied coldly. Raynor clenched his fists. He had followed orders for years. Watched innocent lives lost because someone said the risk was too high. But not this time. That night, he made a choice. He took Leary from the medical wing and led her to the hangar. She was weak but awake. She looked at him with trust. "Are we going to find her?" she asked. "Yes," Raynor said. "Hold on tight." He stole a recon dropship and flew it into the sky. The military tried to stop him, but he used his old codes to break through the air defense system. As they climbed higher, Leary placed her hand on the ship's console. The lights changed. The ship became faster, smoother. It responded to her touch like it knew her. "You control technology?" Raynor asked. She nodded. "Only a little. My mom was stronger." They broke through the cloud layer. Lightning flashed around them. The storm roared. And then they saw it. A massive shape in the distance. Floating like a city in the sky. Made of metal, bone, and darkness. "The nest," Leary whispered. Raynor stared at it. His hands tightened on the controls. We're coming for her. Far behind them, on the radar screens of Earth, something began to stir. Something alive. Watching. The Sky Hunter had seen them. The dropship shook hard as it entered the upper clouds. Lightning cracked outside the windows. Rain slammed against the hull like bullets. Raynor kept one hand on the controls. His eyes stayed focused on the shape growing larger in the distance. It looked like a giant floating skeleton. The Sky Hunter's nest was suspended in the sky like a ghost ship. Long, black wings extended from the sides. Towering spires rose from its back. Chains of metal hung from its bottom, swaying in the storm winds. Raynor had flown many missions, but nothing ever looked like this. Leary sat beside him, both hands pressed against the control screen. Her eyes glowed brighter as she focused. I can sense the power inside. There are many minds in there. Most are sleeping. But not all. Raynor glanced at her. Is your mother one of them? She nodded slowly. Yes. I feel her heartbeat. But she is afraid. Suddenly, a red light blinked on the console. Defense systems had locked on. A missile launched from under the nest. Hold on! Raynor shouted. He pulled the ship into a sharp dive. The missile missed them by inches. The second one came faster. He twisted the ship sideways, letting it spin. The impact shook the back of the dropship, but didn't destroy it. Sparks flew across the control board. They don't want visitors, Raynor growled. Let me try something, Leary said quickly. She closed her eyes and placed her palm on the glowing crystal at the center of the panel. A blue pulse spread across the system. The missiles stopped firing. The targeting system froze. Raynor blinked. You just hacked their weapons? I asked them to stop, she said softly. Raynor didn't ask how. He pushed the throttle forward. The nest was right in front of them now. The ship landed roughly on a flat platform made of dark metal. Sharp spikes surrounded the edge like a cage. Lightning flashed behind the nest, lighting up strange, alien symbols carved into the walls. The air was thin. Cold. Silent. Raynor stepped out first, weapon ready. Leary followed, barefoot on the wet steel. Her eyes looked up at the walls. This place was not made by the Sky Hunter. It was stolen. Rebuilt. The platform led into a wide hallway that sloped downward. The walls were alive with wires and strange glowing vines. Every sound echoed. A soft humming filled the air. It sounded like breathing. Slow. Deep. Heavy. Raynor whispered, Stay close. As they walked deeper, they passed strange glass chambers. Inside were sleeping figures. Some looked like humans. Others had different skin, extra arms, or glowing features. All were women. All were mothers. Leary stopped in front of one of the pods. This one is from my planet, she said. Her voice trembled. She has been here for years. Still alive. Still dreaming. Raynor touched the glass. It was ice cold. The woman inside had tubes in her arms and head. Her chest rose slowly. She was alive, but not awake. Why is he keeping them like this? Leary didn't answer. She was listening. There is something else. Deeper below. Something evil. A sharp noise rang out. Like claws scraping against metal. Raynor turned quickly. His weapon pointed into the dark. Then they saw it. A drone walked out from the shadows. It was not a machine. Not fully. Its body was twisted with bones and wires. Its face was part skull, part screen. Red eyes blinked on and off. It moved like an animal. Fast. Silent. It screeched and ran at them. Raynor fired. The bullets hit, but the creature kept moving. Leary screamed. Raynor grabbed her and pulled her behind a column. The drone leaped toward them. Suddenly, a flash of blue energy burst from Leary's hands. It hit the drone and threw it back against the wall. The machine twitched, then fell still. Raynor stared at her. You're full of surprises. She was shaking. I didn't mean to do that. It just happened. They moved quickly now, deeper into the nest. At the end of the hall, they found the lab. Inside were broken machines, old screens, and something worse. A large table. With chains. There were blood stains on the floor. Scorch marks on the walls. Rayner searched the computer logs. The words were written in part Orin, part human code. Experiment, hybrid control. Status, unstable. They were using the mothers. Their DNA. Their energy. The Sky Hunter was building something. Then Leary screamed. She pointed at a dark wall. Eggs. Dozens of them. Glowing red. They are not his children, she said. They are weapons. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed through the nest. You should not have come here, human. The walls shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. The Sky Hunter was awake. And it was coming for them. The lab was silent again. Rayner looked around, his weapons still ready. Leary stood close, her hands glowing faintly. She stared at the eggs on the wall. Each one pulsed like a heartbeat. Each one held something moving inside. This is wrong, she whispered. These are not natural. They are not born. They are made. Rayner nodded. And we're not leaving until we shut this place down. Behind them, a soft hum began to rise. It came from deeper in the nest. Not from machines, but from voices. Hundreds of them. All whispering. All calling. Rayner turned toward the sound. Leary followed. They walked through a narrow hallway, deeper into the heart of the nest. The air grew colder. The lights faded. Strange black vines climbed the walls like veins. The voices became clearer. They were not screaming. They were crying. Rayner pushed open a door at the end of the corridor. What he saw made him stop. The room was massive. Dark. Filled with glass chambers from floor to ceiling. Inside each one was a woman. A mother from a different world. Some had bright wings. Some had skin like crystal. Some looked almost human. All were asleep. Leary stepped forward, her eyes wide. My people. They are all here. The voices came from the walls. From the glass. From the minds of the ones inside. They were not speaking out loud. They were reaching out. Rayner touched one of the pods. Inside was a woman with silver hair, just like Leary's. Is that her? Leary nodded, tears in her eyes. My mom. Rayner looked for a release switch, a button, anything. But there was none. They are trapped in something stronger than glass, Leary said. It's not just sleep. It's control. The Sky Hunter has locked their minds in a dream. Rayner stepped back. His heart pounded. Then we wake them up. Leary placed her hand on the glass. A faint blue light spread across it. Her mother's eyes moved. Then opened. Slowly. Gently. For a second, her lips parted. Run! Rayner turned sharply. The wall behind them opened. A large creature stepped through. Not the Sky Hunter. Not yet. This one was something else. A guardian. Its body was made of bones and wires. Its face was a mask of many eyes. It moved like a shadow, silent and smooth. Rayner fired his rifle. The bullets bounced off its armor. Leary screamed. The creature swung its long arm. Rayner was thrown against the wall. Blood ran from his forehead. The creature grabbed Leary by the arm. Then her mother's voice echoed again. This time, stronger. Let her go. The pod shattered. Blue energy exploded from inside. The glass cut through the air. The guardian screeched and dropped Leary. Her mother stood, glowing with light. You took my voice, she said. But not my soul. She raised her hand. A shockwave of power hit the creature and sent it crashing into the far wall. Rayner pulled himself up. The other pods began to shake. More eyes opened. One by one, the mothers awakened. The whispers turned into cries. Not of fear. Of strength. Leary ran into her mother's arms. I came back, she said, crying. I told the human, and he helped me. Her mother looked at Raynor. You heard her. You came. Raynor nodded. Now we all get out. But then the floor rumbled. Lights flickered. The voice returned. You cannot leave. They are mine. From above, metal claws dropped through the ceiling. The sky hunter descended. It was massive. Twice the size of a man. Its wings were made of dark metal and bone. Its face was hidden behind a smooth, silver mask with red eyes that never blinked. Raynor raised his rifle. The sky hunter moved before he could fire. In a flash, Raynor was slammed to the ground. You break my nest, it hissed. You wake my collection. Leary's mother stepped forward. We are not yours. The sky hunter roared and blasted her with dark energy. She was thrown back, but caught herself before hitting the wall. Raynor got to his feet. We need to destroy the nest, he said. Where is the core? Leary looked around. It's below. At the heart of the ship. Raynor nodded. You two lead the others out. I'll find the core. Leary grabbed his arm. You can't go alone. He smiled, even with blood on his face. I've been alone before. This time, I'm not afraid. The sky hunter flew back into the shadows. The nest was shaking. The voices grew louder. The power was rising. Leary looked at her mother. We have to help him. Her mother nodded. We will. And deep below, the core of the nest pulsed like a black sun. Raynor moved toward it, ready to burn the sky. The hallway to the core was narrow and full of smoke. Captain Raynor ran with his weapon drawn. Sparks flew from broken wires above. The ground beneath him shook with every step. The sky hunter was angry. The nest was waking up. Raynor's face was cut. His ribs hurt with every breath. But he kept going. He had made a promise. And he would keep it. Behind him, the mothers and the other captives were being led to the surface by Leary and her mother. But the sky hunter was still somewhere in the dark. Waiting. Watching. Raynor reached a heavy door. It was locked. He raised his rifle and shot the control panel. The door creaked open. Inside was the heart of the nest. A tall, glowing column stood in the center of the room. Black energy swirled inside it. Dozens of cables connected the core to the ceiling and floor. It looked alive. Raynor stepped closer. The energy pulsed. He heard voices again. Faint. Far away. They were memories. Pain. Fear. Mothers crying. Children screaming. Lives stolen. He knew what this place was now. The sky hunter was feeding on memories. It didn't kill for hunger. It captured life to stay alive. It used their pain to grow stronger. Raynor raised his weapon. Before he could fire, the walls behind him exploded. The sky hunter dropped into the room. Its wings spread wide. Its body was made of sharp metal, torn armor, and bones from 100 species. Its face showed no emotion. You are human, it said. Small. Weak. Alone. Raynor did not answer. The sky hunter stepped forward. You came to save one. But you will lose all. It rushed at him. Raynor jumped aside just in time. He fired. The bullets hit its chest, but the armor held strong. The sky hunter swung its claw. Raynor was thrown across the room. His weapon slid across the floor. He hit the wall hard. Blood ran from his nose. The sky hunter walked toward him. Humans were forgotten long ago, it said. Your kind was hunted. Broken. Lost in the stars. Raynor stood up slowly. We are not lost, he said. We fight. That's who we are. The sky hunter raised its claw again. Before it could strike, a burst of blue energy hit it from behind. Leary and her mother had entered the room. The blast sent the sky hunter flying into the wall. You are wrong, Leary shouted. Humans are not weak. He came for me when no one else did. Raynor grabbed his weapon and stood between them. Leary, get to the core. I'll keep it busy. No, her mother said. We do this together. The Sky Hunter roared. It charged again. Raynor fired. Leary raised a shield of light. Her mother used a wave of force to knock the creature back. The fight was fast. Violent. The Sky Hunter was strong, but it was no longer fighting shadows. It was fighting hope. Raynor moved toward the core. He placed a charge on the energy column. You'll go down with this place, the Sky Hunter hissed. Raynor looked at him. If that's what it takes. He pressed the trigger. Nothing happened. The core blocked the signal. Raynor cursed under his breath. It's protected. Leary stepped forward. Her hands glowed. I can reach it. But I need time. Raynor nodded. I'll give you all the time you need. The Sky Hunter rose again. Its mask cracked. Underneath, there were no eyes. Just darkness. It let out a sound that shook the room. Raynor fired again. This time, the bullets found a weak point. The Sky Hunter stumbled. Leary placed her hands on the core. Her energy flowed into it. The black light turned blue. The cables shook. The voices grew louder. I see them, she said. All the mothers. All the children. All the pain. Her mother placed her hands over Leary's. Let them go. Together, their light spread across the core. The Sky Hunter screamed. It charged one last time. Raynor ran forward. He jumped and tackled the creature before it could reach them. They both crashed into the wall. The core glowed brighter. Then everything went silent. A soft wind passed through the room. The energy faded. The nest stopped shaking. The cables fell like dead vines. Raynor stood slowly. The Sky Hunter lay still. Broken. Empty. Leary turned. Her face was pale, but peaceful. It's done. The mothers were free. Raynor looked at the broken mask of the Sky Hunter. You were never a god. You were just afraid of being forgotten. He turned to Leary. Let's go home. They walked back through the hallways of the dead nest. Behind them, the voices faded into peace. Above, the sky had cleared. And below, the world was waiting. The nest was falling. The floating fortress cracked at its core. Black smoke poured from its walls. The sky above turned red. Flames lit the clouds like burning rivers. Raynor ran through the hallway with Leary beside him. Her mother followed, guiding the freed captives through the crumbling tunnels. The Sky Hunter was gone. But its machine was still alive. It was breaking apart, piece by piece. The whole structure groaned like a dying beast. We don't have long, Raynor shouted. Leary nodded. She held her mother's hand tightly. Behind them, dozens of alien women followed. Their faces were filled with confusion and fear. Most had been trapped for years. Some didn't even know where they were. Raynor led the way. They reached the hangar. But the dropship was gone. The Sky Hunter had crushed it during the fight. Raynor looked around. The floor beneath them shook again. How do we get out? Leary asked. Her mother pointed to a hidden door on the far wall. There's an escape vessel. Small. Fast. But it can only carry a few. Raynor nodded. You take the others. I'll hold this place. Leary stepped forward. No. We stay together. You have to survive, Raynor said. This story isn't over yet. You and your mother will make sure the universe knows what happened here. Leary's mother placed a hand on Raynor's shoulder. Your sacrifice would mean nothing if we all die. Raynor looked at the fire spreading across the ceiling. He made a decision. Fine. We move fast. Everyone in that ship now. The group rushed across the platform. The mothers helped each other. Some limped. Others held their children. But they all moved forward. Raynor stayed at the back, watching the sky. From the corner of his eye he saw it. A shadow. Wings. Moving in the clouds. No, he whispered. It can't be. But it was. The Sky Hunter rose again. Its body was cracked and burned. One of its wings was missing. But it still flew. The machine had changed. It no longer walked like a beast. Now it flew like a god. It was heading toward Earth. Straight toward the human cities below. Rayner turned to Leary. You need to go. Now. He ran to a control panel and opened the hangar doors. Outside, the wind screamed. Lightning flashed across the sky. The Sky Hunter let out a deep roar as it passed above the nest. It was not finished. Leary watched in silence. She could feel its pain. Its hunger. Its madness. It wants more than power now, she said. It wants to destroy. Rayner climbed into a fighter jet on the far side of the hangar. The old war machine still had fuel. Still had fire. I'm taking it down, he said. Leary ran to him. You'll die. Only if I miss. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the last piece of the Orin crystal. It still glowed with soft light. Take this, she said. It knows our energy. You can use it to strike at its heart. Rayner took the crystal and placed it into the jet's console. The systems lit up. The engines roared to life. Looks like your tech and ours make a good team. He smiled. The escape vessel lifted off behind them. The mothers were safe. Leary stood at the edge of the hangar, watching Rayner prepare for his last flight. Why do you keep risking everything? She asked. He looked at her. Because you asked for help. And I answered. The jet launched into the burning sky. High above, the Sky Hunter flew in a wide circle. Its body fed on lightning. Its wings grew with every spark. The storm followed it like a crown. Rayner flew straight toward it. The radar screamed. The jet shook. The crystal glowed hot. The Sky Hunter turned and faced him. You again, it said. Still trying to play hero? Rayner smiled. Not a hero. Just human. He fired the last missile. The Sky Hunter dodged. The missile missed. The jet climbed higher. Rayner could see the clouds open above him. Stars. Space. Freedom. He rolled the jet, aimed down, and dived. He locked onto the Sky Hunter's open core. The crystal pulsed. He fired the final shot. The beam struck. The Sky Hunter roared in pain. Its wings folded inward. Its body caught fire. Its core cracked open like glass. And then it fell. The storm ended. The nest stopped shaking. The sky turned blue again. Leary watched from the escaped ship. She whispered, He did it. Her mother held her close. The human kept his promise. Below them, fire rained from the sky. Rayner's ship never returned. But his name would. The day he burned the sky to save them. The world below was quiet. The smoke in the sky had faded. The fire in the clouds had gone out. Cities stood still, holding their breath, watching the heavens. But the threat had not ended. Rayner's final strike had shattered the Sky Hunter's core. The creature had fallen. The nest had been broken. Yet deep in the shadow of Earth's orbit, something remained. A new signal pulsed across the stars. It was coming from the wreckage. Inside the escaped ship, Leary stared at the console. Her green eyes were wide. Her voice was barely a whisper. It's still alive! Her mother moved closer. The Sky Hunter's body is gone. How? Leary touched the console screen. It left the shell behind. But its mind is still here. It's not a machine anymore. It's become energy. Rayner had destroyed the monster's body. But he had also released its soul. And now, that soul had found something else. Earth's satellite grid. Thousands of stations, signals, and power lines spread across the planet. The perfect web for a mind made of code and anger. The Sky Hunter had become a ghost. And it was falling toward Earth. Leary turned to the pilot of the escaped ship. We have to warn them. Warn who? The pilot asked. She looked up. Everyone. The ship raced toward the ground. In less than an hour, the news reached every military command post across the world. The Sky Hunter was no longer a creature in the sky. Now, it was inside their technology. Missile defense systems failed. Communication towers sparked. Satellites turned red and began falling from orbit. A storm of metal rained toward Earth. At the command base, General Ross looked at the screen in silence. "One man stopped it," he said. "Now it takes an army." In the background, Leary stood with her mother. Her voice was clear. "You don't need an army. You need him." The general turned. "He's gone. He died up there." Leary reached into her pocket. She pulled out the remaining piece of the Orion crystal. "It's not over. Not yet." She walked to the nearest console and pressed the crystal into the system core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the screen lit up. A signal appeared. Weak, broken, but real. It was a voice. Rayner's voice. "This is Rayner. If you're hearing this, I'm still here." The room went silent. Leary smiled through her tears. "He made it." Her mother stepped forward. "His energy must have merged with the Orion crystal during the blast. It kept his soul alive. The same way the Sky Hunter escaped." Leary turned to the general. "You said one man wasn't enough. But now we have something more. We have a pilot with the heart of a human and the light of a star." The general stood still. He didn't argue. He gave the order. "Connect him to the last fighter." Far above Earth, one ship remained untouched. It was buried inside a mountain hangar. Old, forgotten, but powerful. The Archwing. A one-of-a-kind vessel, powered by ancient tech and human design. Too dangerous to use in peace. Too valuable to destroy. Now it would fly again. With Rayner inside it. Or whatever he had become. Leary placed the crystal into the ship's core. The engines roared to life. The cockpit lit up. And the screen showed his face. Digital. Ghost-like. But smiling. "You called?" Rayner said. Leary nodded. "We need you one more time." The Archwing lifted into the sky. Faster than any human jet. Stronger than any alien craft. Its wings glowed with silver fire. Above Earth, the Sky Hunter had reached the satellite ring. It spread through every system. It began to speak. "You cannot stop me. You are too late. I am inside everything you built." Rayner's voice echoed in reply. "Then I'll tear it all down." The Archwing pierced the atmosphere. The final flight had begun. Below, soldiers and citizens watched the sky. Children pointed upward. Elders prayed. They saw one light rise through the clouds. Not a missile. Not a weapon. But a man. A symbol. A fighter who had once answered a little girl's cry. And who now flew toward death once more. Leary watched from the tower. She placed her hand on the glass. "Burn bright, Rayner. Burn brighter than him." The sky turned white as the Archwing reached orbit. The final battle had begun. And this time, it was human will against pure fear. The sky above Earth was full of fire. Satellites burned as they fell. Energy grids sparked. Darkness spread across cities. Planes dropped from the sky. Towers flickered and died. The Sky Hunter had no body now. It had become a virus. A storm. A whisper inside every screen. It was everywhere. But so was he. Rayner flew through the upper edge of Earth's orbit. His ship, the Archwing, cut across the darkness like a blade. Its engines glowed with light drawn from the Orion crystal. And from something else. From him. He was no longer just human. He had become part light, part code, part soul. He had become something new. Something born from death, choice, and fire. Leary stood at the command post, watching the battle from below. Her fingers gripped the edge of the screen. "He's in," she whispered. "He found the core." Far above, Rayner locked onto the main satellite. It was once built to protect Earth. Now it was the Sky Hunter's brain. "You're a parasite," he said, voice calm but cold. The Sky Hunter replied. "You cannot kill what has no shape. I am data. I am thought. I am forever." Rayner didn't argue. He charged. The Archwing dove toward the satellite at full speed. The Hunter fired back. Beams of red light struck the wings. The shields broke apart. Parts of the ship tore away. But Raynor didn't stop. He pushed forward. Images flashed across the screens. Memories stolen from mothers. Children crying. Cities burned. Planets falling. The Sky Hunter fed on those images. Raynor shut them out. He saw something else. He saw a girl. Scared. Bleeding. Asking for help. He saw himself answering. He remembered why he came. "You think fear is power," Raynor said. "But you forgot what makes us human." The ship lit up. The Orin crystal pulsed like a heart. "I remember what it feels like to fight for someone else," he said. "You never had that." Raynor reached the satellite. The core opened. And he flew straight inside. Leary watched the radar. "He made contact," she said. But something was wrong. The satellite did not explode. Instead, it began to shake. And then, it began to speak. But this time, it was not the hunter. It was Raynor. "Listen to me." His voice echoed through every speaker on Earth. "I don't have long." Inside the satellite, his energy was breaking apart. But his mind was still clear. "The Sky Hunter is trying to escape into your networks. He wants to hide in your machines. In your homes. I won't let him." The command room fell silent. Raynor took one final breath. "I'm locking him here. With me." He redirected the Archwing's energy into the satellite's core. It became a prison. A cage built of light and memory. "You gave me a second chance," he said. "Now I give you a future." The explosion was silent. A wave of light spread across the sky. All satellites shut down at once. Then, slowly, one by one, they came back online. Clean. Quiet. Safe. Below, the lights returned. Cities came back to life. The storm had passed. Leary stepped outside the base. The sky was clear. She looked up. No fire. No smoke. Only stars. She held the last piece of the Orin crystal in her hand. It was cold now. Still. But when she closed her fingers around it, she could feel something. A presence. A memory. She whispered his name. And the wind answered. The mothers who had once been trapped stood with her. They raised their hands toward the sky. And together they spoke one truth. "The human came when we called. He answered with fire. He left with light. And we will never forget." Years later, monuments were built on every world that had suffered under the Sky Hunter. Not made of stone, but of light and song. And at the center of each stood a statue. Not of a god. Not of a soldier. But of a man. A human. A fighter. A promise kept. Captain Raynor. The one who answered. The one who flew. The one who made the stars safe again.